Hey guys, this is Tom from Numbers Game Lifestyle, and today we're going to talk about bodybuilding and how the ability to control what you eat is really like a superpower. It's the reason why your physique is going to undergo massive changes, is because how you manipulate your diet. It's the most important part of your whole, transformation journey. I can't tell you how many clients I've talked to, when I used to work at gyms. When you can talk about training all day, they're like, oh yeah, no problem there. Like, they're super consistent with training and everything like that. But as soon as you mention addressing their diet, they get very uptight and they're like, no, like, I eat healthy. Like, no, I don't eat any junk food. Everything's good there. No, nothing to worry about that diet. So you don't have to tell me anything about diet. Meanwhile, you look at them, they're like grossly overweight. Everybody can see it, but yet, no, everything's fine there. Just tell me how to train. And, the diet, I eat healthy. It's all good there. It's like people have some serious emotional attachment to what they eat. And you try to, tweak that and make little changes. No, it's not that. And, the ability to control what you eat and what you put in your mouth will determine your results in the gym. You may get away with not controlling what you eat in your first, couple months training, your first newbie gains. It really won't matter what you eat, you're still going to make gains. But eventually, it's going to reach a point where you have to address the diet if you want to continue to see improvements. This is the reason why you'll go to the gym, years upon years, and you'll see people looking the exact same for the entire period, not losing weight, not gaining weight, just doing the exact same thing over and over again and looking the exact same. It's because they haven't been able to manipulate what they eat. They haven't been able to control what they eat. Meanwhile, the guys that have undergone massive changes, whether that be weight loss or weight gain, muscle building, they have figured out that diet is probably the crucial, most important ingredient in that transformation. They've been able to gain the ability to control what they eat, whether that's be eating more or eating less. And if you choose to ignore this, you're going to be, spinning your wheels for years at a time, not seeing any changes. Let's just use myself as an example. I began first training weightlifting around grade 8 or 9, and I didn't manipulate diet or anything. I think my mom bought me a protein shake, but that was about it. That was the only change I made to my diet. And I made serious gains. 2 months I had put on a serious amount of muscle where people noticed. They're like, man, let me touch your biceps. And they were touching my biceps, touching my chest. And it was a noticeable improvement, and I didn't change anything. Diet wasn't a big problem. And right away, as I'm thinking, oh yeah, that's all that matters is just working out. That's all it takes to get big, is just working out. And so that's what I did throughout high school. I didn't change my diet at all, didn't address the diet. And I graduated still very skinny, very underweight. And I just people, I would hear read in bodybuilding magazines or online about how important it was to eat, but I'm nah, I was making gains without even addressing what I was eating, so it's no real problem here. Until I realized I'm stuck, I'm not making any gains. It's time for me to really address this diet thing. And when I was 19, I moved out on my own and controlled everything that I ate, and I ate a lot. I was eating all the time. And during that year, I turned myself from 140 pounds to 170 pounds, and I still remained the same leanness that I started at. I still had abs. I had abs at 140, had abs at 170. So I was still very lean. Wasn't I gained a bunch of fat. It was just that I was eating a lot more protein and a lot more food consistently throughout the day. And that was a big game changer. I'm oh man, this is the key in order to get big. And that was a big game changer for me when I realized how important diet was. And diet changes really don't come automatically. They don't come overnight. You can't just wake up one day and be like, okay, I'm not eating that, I'm not eating that, I'm gonna eat that and that. And just a quick intermission here, guys. If you could like, comment, or subscribe to this channel, that would do me a huge favor because the YouTube algorithm loves that stuff. Thank you. You don't wake up one day completely being able to control what you eat. It takes time and effort bit by bit. So what I did first time was I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna drink any kind of pop anymore, any kind of like junk crap, any kind of like chocolate bars. I was eating those like every day, and I'm like, man, there's really no point to that. There's no protein in it. It's not gonna feed my muscles. I'm gonna ditch that. And so that was the first step. It was hard drinking water with all my meals and everything like that. But eventually I got used to that, and that was like became my routine. And now like I only want to drink water when I have meals and when I'm thirsty. Okay, so that was like the first step. The next step was like making sure that like every meal that I had some kind of protein in it, because hey, if it's just fat and carbs, it's just energy. It's not going into my muscles. It's not, doing anything for my muscles really. It's just most likely going to be deposited as fat. So I'm like, no more meals with just fat and carbs, and I'm going to make sure that everything has some decent set of protein in it. So it can be like, used for muscle building. And that was another thing, like making sure I was eating consistent protein throughout the day, and enough of it throughout the day. Like that's step 2. And with time, you start to see your body as like a machine, and you're looking for good fuel. You're not looking for trash fuel. And you look at things and like, no, that cake, it's just like a bunch of sugar. Like, it's not going to really do anything for me, so I'm not interested. So when people offer you like donuts and people offer you, that's the thing, people are going to be offering you all kinds of like junk and bullshit foods, and you have to be like, no, that's not going to do anything for my physique. And that's how you have to look at it. You have to look at food as like a means for your physique, as a fuel for your body, instead of like, oh, the pleasure that you'll get out of eating that food. It stops being like a pleasure thing. And this doesn't mean that the food that you eat has to be like bland and terrible and taste terrible. The foods that I eat when I'm cutting, like, I'm super concerned about calories and everything like that, is still very good. I love what I eat when I'm cutting. Like, you'll put on sauces on it and everything like that to make it taste great, and you'll never get tired of it. It's not like, oh, this food is like so terrible to eat. No, it can taste great and still be fairly low calorie. That's the thing. You just don't pile on a bunch of junk on top of it. And if you're still not making gains on that, the foods that you're eating, then throw in a bit of cardio in as well. But the foods that you eat in terms of like massive weight loss and getting super lean do not have to taste bad. They can taste very good. Just put on your favorite sauces. Like honey garlic sauce is my favorite. I toss that on there. It's like big deal. An extra like 30 or 50 calories. Big deal. It's way more. I way rather take the extra 50 calories than eating like terrible food that I'm like dreading to eat. And you're like, oh, like I hate eating this. I don't know how long I can put up with this. With that sauce, I can eat like for 6 months eating the same thing. It really doesn't matter. So yes, being able to control what you eat is a superpower. It's the difference between the people that make radical changes in their physique, like when you go to the gym, and the people that have stayed the same for years upon years and never will make changes. And it's a switch that you have to do gradually. You can't just wake up one day and being able to completely overhaul your diet and what you eat. Nowadays, I've got maximum control over what I eat. If you told me you have to eat like 4,000 calories today, like I would find no problem doing that. Same way if you said like you have to eat like 1,500 calories today, I'd be like, it's tough, but I can do that. You've programmed yourself to be a machine, and you know what you're capable of in terms of like eating super low calorie, high calorie. It really doesn't matter. You have maximum control over what you put in your mouth. And that's very rare in this day and age. Most people can't do this. Most people will never develop the habits to be able to control what they eat, which is why they look so terrible, even by going to the gym day in and day out, not seeing any changes. If you want to make radical changes to your physique, you're going to have to control what you eat. And that is the superpower that not many people have. And the people that do have it are the ones that look really good and they make radical changes in their physiques. Anyways, guys, if you need help doing this, whether that's improving what you eat, like fixing your diet and getting leaner, getting more muscular, whatever it is, I help guys do that. There's coaching links down below. Anyways, guys, that's the video. Thanks for watching.